Are we waiting for Kelly? Oh, Carrie? Oh, you were just waiting for me? Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
I would like to call the meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of Waukesha. Sue, could you please take the roll call vote?
Mark Borowski,
Here.
Corey Montiel,
Here.
Carrie Kozlowski, Markel Moore,
Here.
Joseph Como,
Here.
Patrick McCaffrey,
Here.
Anthony Zenobia,
Here.
Karen Robertson,
Here?
Kelly Piasek.
And I understand that Dr. Piasek and Ms. Kozlowski are excused or have an absence. Okay, can you verify that the meeting has been properly posted, Sue?
Yes, it has.
Thank you. Our first action tonight is the approval of the resignations and retirements. The consent agenda was placed on your desk this evening. We have 8 resignations for approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McCaffrey. Do I have a second? Mr. Borowski. Any comment or discussion? Seeing none? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Como.
Just real quick, these resignations and retirements were kind of in the last minute sort of thing. And if you note, we do receive liquidated damages for those who leave, like during the summer. We try to get our staff to sign their contracts. I forgot June 15th is the deadline, and, a number of people just sometimes have things up in the air. So we do get compensated, too, for there are stipends that are charged for people who make that decision late in the game. And I just wanted to point that out to the general public.
Thank you. Mr. Montijo.
Thank you. Do we know where we stand as far as numbers and fill rate at this point?
Ms. Thede.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. It's in flux as I bring some in, then I get a few more resignations. But we're at least covered for the first day of school with backup plans. We aren't fully staffed for the first day of school. I would say about a handful that I'm still for hard to fill. But as you can see, we recently received some resignations, so we're working on that.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, any other comments? Seeing none, Sue, would you please take the roll call vote?
Corey Montiel,
Aye.
Mark Borowski,
Aye.
Patrick McCaffrey,
Aye.
Karen Robertson,
Aye.
Anthony Zenobia,
Aye.
Markel Moore,
Aye.
Joseph Como.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Our second action is the approval of new contracts and contract modifications. We have 19 new or modified contracts for approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McCaffrey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Montijo. Comments or discussion on the new contracts or modifications? Seeing none, but I'm sorry, Mr. Como.
Just real quick.
Sure.
Thanks to all the hard work, Sharon and your team, and all those at the local sites. It's been a busy summer, but I think we're doing a good job filling these positions, and I'm excited to get rolling with the new year here. So,
Absolutely. I think everybody is looking forward to the start of the year to get things rolling. Sue, could you take the roll call vote, please?
Karen Robertson,
Aye.
Corey Montiel,
Aye.
Patrick McCaffrey,
Aye.
Joseph Como,
aye.
Mark Borowski,
Aye.
Markel Moore,
Aye.
Anthony Zenobia.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Our final action is for the approval of the recommended candidate and contract for the position of principal of Randall STEM. The administration is recommending Dan Paczynski for the position of the principal of Randall STEM. Dan is a math and computer science teacher and coach at his core. He is ready to take on the challenge of an elementary principal. He is a people person who always puts relationships first in all that he does. He makes people feel comfortable and inspires others to work hard for the kids in front of him. He has a strong curriculum and instruction background with experience in math. Mr. Pochinski knows the SAIL continuous improvement process in our district as well, and he will be to be a lead learner and listener as he transitions into this role. A confidential recommendation, Dan Pochinski's resume and contract were provided in the Friday packet. Salary and benefits will be according to the middle management policies. So we are looking for a motion to approve the recommendation and contract of Dan Pochinski for the position of principal of Randall STEM.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Como. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Robertson. Do we have any comments or discussion?
Hi, I do have a comment. I'm excited for the school year to start and see our students go back to school and see these positions get filled. However, I have been contemplating as a board member on, especially with voting on principal contracts. I think going forward, it's nice to hear the amazing accomplishments from these principals, but I think I'm going to start wanting to meet with them before to get to know them better before I do share my confidence in them publicly. So I do want to make that clear that I will go ahead and approve it because school is starting, but moving forward, I do want to now start, meeting with principals and getting to know their goals and agendas for the school year so that we can deliver the best results for kids. So.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. If I may, Ms. Thede, if when we receive a contract like this, typically how much time do we have knowing, I know this is a unique situation, but do we get to know the candidate that is coming, and how much time do we typically as board members have to meet with people if we would like, or to learn more about them?
I would say it would be unusual that the board would take that action. And it all depends on when the position becomes open to when the next board meeting is really for approval of their contract.
Okay.
Mr.
Moore, go ahead.
Thank you. Is there any way that board members can participate maybe in interview processes as well? Because you're asking me to vote on someone that I never met before, right? I mean, it would be like me going to an interview and someone who never met me has to, my fate is in their hands. So just to be fair, I would like to just, get to know the person that we are putting in charge of running the school. I mean, because if anything happens, I'm responsible. I mean, I voted for that principal, right? So I want to make sure that my confidence is genuine and authentic and honest. So.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Como.
So, by state statute, we have to approve all contracts. However, there's nothing saying that we have to be involved with every step of the process. And I can understand where you're coming from, Markel. This is from my perspective, what question needs to be asked is, who should be doing what? Now, from an operations perspective, the responsibility lies upon our administration to go out and go through the hiring process. And we finalize contracts. Now, I can understand where you're coming from, but there's all sorts of things that we need to approve very quickly, need to be a quick study on. And from a hiring perspective, I don't know how we could be involved with each interview. I just don't see how that could be possible from a time perspective. But it's your prerogative, but in most cases, I would say that if you were to take a look at how other boards operate too, this is an administrative function and not a board function, the actual hiring process. So it's just been, you could call it more tradition if you wish. But I do know that the process that we put any new hire through or potential hire through is pretty rigorous. In this case, we had 23 applications, 7 then it was narrowed down to 7 who were invited to do a digital interview. 6 of the digital interviews were completed, and then 3 candidates were invited to a first round of interviews with, very experienced administrators and principals. And then, the top one essentially moved forward. And did we have a chance to do site at this one, Sharon? Even though it was pretty compact in time? So we even had people on the site were able to be involved in that selection and make the final selection. And these are the people who will be working with that person. So I know where you're coming from. My confidence lies with the administration and the people who do this work day to day, day in and day out. They're the ones who are going to know what questions to ask, so on and so forth. And so I just wanted to, share those thoughts of, how I've gotten through that over the years, Markel. So take from that whatever you wish.
Thank you, and I appreciate your perspective, and I'm going to let you run and govern the school board how you should see fit, and I'm going to run and govern how I see fit, and it doesn't have to be the same, and that's okay. And on top of that, I will say that I didn't say specifically every interview. What I'm saying is that when it comes to principals, like people who are actually leading a school, like executives and leaders, I just want to make sure that it doesn't have to be every interview, but I would like to meet them in order to make my vote, I feel comfortable voting. Like I said, that's my perspective. And Mr. Como's welcome to govern how he wants to govern, and we'll let the people decide if they want him back or not. And the same thing with me. I'm going to let the people, tell me how they feel and which way I should govern. So it doesn't have to be the same. He doesn't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with him. But that is my perspective, and I'm just going to share it just like he would. So.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Any other comments?
Just a quick follow-up.
Mr.
These interviews are not, I guess other than the digital one initially, they're not recorded, are they? Like, the in-person ones aren't recorded or anything? Okay. So it's not like we could review those if anybody wanted to. I just wonder if one way to maybe kind of address the concern of, just rubber stamping versus knowing more. This information is confidential to us anyway, and I wonder if instead of just the talents and background of the person, maybe listing the kind of key differentiating reasons that they chose this candidate over the others. Not to disparage anyone else or whatever, but like maybe listing, key differentiators or key reasons for the hire or something like that. I don't know, it's just a thought as I was sitting listening to Mr. Como and Mr. Moore.
Mr. Como.
I think Sharon would be happy to share those with you. You just need to ask. Sharon, would you mind?
Well, that really is, if you look at the talent section on any administrator we've hired this year, those are the qualities that came out in the interview. Again, we wouldn't compare them against another candidate in a document that we would send to you, but we pull out the key pieces that had them rise to the top or that aligned with the look-fors from the faculty. Or, of course, anyone is always, you can give me a call as well if you had any questions or concerns.
Thank you. So I will ask for a motion for the approval of the recommended candidate for the position of Randall STEM.
We have the motion. The motion and second.
I apologize.
It's okay.
Let's go to the roll call vote, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Como.
I just want to give a shout out to Dan. I was pretty excited to see Dan selected. We'll have we'll have to fill his role in the TNL, on the TNL team, so that'll be something that we'll have to do. But I think Dan is well qualified, and I've known Dan for 11 years now. Everything he's done has been super professional. He's great at building relationships. Every time we've asked questions of Dan, he's brought us the answers. He is open and transparent. I really think that the folks at Randall are going to be really, really pleased with Dan, and I'm excited to vote in favor of this.
Thank you. Seeing any other comments? Sue, would you please take the roll call?
Patrick McCaffrey.
Aye.
Markel Moore.
Abstain.
Mark Borowski.
Aye.
Joseph Como.
Aye?
Corey Montijo.
Aye.
Karen Robertson.
Aye.
And Anthony Zenobia.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0-1. I'd like to thank you all for being here. That concludes this special board meeting of the School District of Waukesha. Thank you.